What's up?
Get your man.
What's up?
Get your man.
So it's working now. Let's see. All right. Let's get this thing crack-a-lacking. So this is how we're going to do this. If you are a member, you're probably watching live right now. If you're a Patreon, it'll be on Patreon shortly. And it's going to be released to everybody else sometime tomorrow, sometime Thursday. So basically what I'm going to do is kind of take you down, not a memory lane, but I'm so tired of hearing people whine and complain about Monken and the tight ends and all this nonsense. Let's just go. We'll take you back to when I met him in 2005. And then we'll bring you up to yesterday. And we're going to talk about where he's been, the offenses he ran, and things like that. Because some people don't like to do research. And we just going to do a little research here. So let's just go ahead and get started on it. Let me get the first one queued up. Then I dig into it. So he was in LSU in 2005, 2006. That's what we're going to start at. And for those, I know everybody knows Jamarcus Russell. He was the, hold on a second, let me get there. 2005. All right, Monken was the receiver coach. And what else? Let me see. Give me 1 second. He was the passing game coordinator and wide receivers coach in 2009 at LSU. Let's get this on the board. All right. So, with that being said, they were 11-2. Jamarcus Russell passed for 2,400 yards. What season was that for Jamarcus? That was his junior season. That was his junior season. Didn't play his freshman. That was his junior season. He threw for 2,445 yards. They were 11-2. Only lost 2 games. His leading receiver was Dwayne Bowe. Let me find Dwayne Bowe down here. Dwayne Bowe with 41 catches for 710 yards. As far as a rusher, well, he didn't have anything to do with rushing because he was the pass game coordinator. Let's bump over to 2006. 2006. So let's go down here to the catchers. Early Doucette, receiver. Skylar Green, running back. Skylar Green was like a scat back. None of these leading catchers are tight ends. Maybe Craig Davis. Let me see. I don't remember. Craig Davis was a receiver. So none of those guys are tight ends. So that debunks that right there. Let's go into the next year, 2006, which is Jamarcus' junior year, the year before he got drafted, and everybody know what happened there. He threw for almost 3,200 yards. Leading receiver was Dwayne Bowe again, 65 catches, 990 yards. Oh, y'all might can't even see that. Let me blow it up a little bit. Cut this out. My screen won't go over. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see if we can get right. Main screen. Unlock. There we go. Now we in now. Nope. Don't do that. Go back here. Let me lock this again. Alright. See if I can make it a little bigger for your eyes. If you can't see it, my bad. You see where I'm going. You see where I'm getting it from. So if you can't see it, I'm getting it from pro sports pro football reference, and then I can go back to the college stuff too. All right, but let's go on Oklahoma State. So LSU 2005, 2006, Dwayne Bowe and Russell, Jamarcus Russell was his leading guys. That second year he threw for 3,350 yards at total. Dwayne Bowe had 65 catches for just under 1,000 yards. But now that he's not a coordinator of any sort until 2011 again at Oklahoma State. So let's go to Oklahoma State. You know, since everybody don't want to do research, I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. And we are looking at 2011, 2012, where he was the OC. He was the OC in 2011. So 2011, I got some notes wrote down too. Get this out the way. These commercials. Justin Blackman. Everybody remember Justin Blackman, receiver? These are his numbers right here highlighted. 122 catches, 1,522 yards. Josh Cooper, who ended up being the leading receiver the next year, and we'll talk about him in a minute. 71 catches, 715 yards. Then you got a rusher, Joseph Randall, 1,200 yards. So you got, a receiver over 1,500, a rusher over 1,200. Then you got a bunch of receivers down here with multiple catches, 45, 28, 21, 20, 19. Spread the ball out. Let's go on to the next year, which would be 2012. Now, Blackman's gone. You come back with Stowe. Why do these things keep popping up? Get out of here. Your leading receiver here is Josh Stewart. 101 catches, 1,200 yards. You got a bunch of people down here. 22 catches, 35, 30, 29. Does he throw to the back? Joseph Randall, he threw to the back. Randall rushed 1,400 yards. Again, just doing the stats with you, doing research. So now, after that, he goes to Southern Miss, which is, where I got my undergrad degree from. So let's pull up Southern Miss. Southern Miss, the year before he got there, was 0-12. The year before Monken got to Southern Miss, they were 0-12. So he got there in 13. All right, so let's go to 12. Right here, Ellis Johnson, 0-12. Next year, Todd Monken, 1-11. Nick Mullins was his quarterback. For those of you that know football, Nick Mullins kind of floated around the league for a while, played a couple games with San Francisco, played some games with, I think, Seattle maybe. But Nick Mullins, kind of floated around a while. But Nick Mullins was a quarterback. And they went 1-11, no good stats to kind of throw out there and whatnot. All that really don't matter. The second year, they went 3-9. So let's go up here. The second year, 1-11 first year, 3-9 the second year. Improvement. Something to write home about? No. Nick Mullins is still his guy. They building on the offense. They got better. Mullins threw for 2,400 yards. Had two backs rushed pretty well. You had Edo Smith and, that's the next year. But still Edo Smith with 500 yards right there. The next year, which is when it flipped. Southern Miss went from winning 4 games in 2 years to going 9-3. Well, 9-5 rather. They went to a bowl game. 9-5. 9 games. So let's look at Mullins this year. He threw for 4,476 yards. That's a huge jump, a huge improvement. But that's from them having a marriage of over 3 years. 3 years together, Nick Mullins improved just that much. And this 1 year got Nick Mullins probably an 8, 9, 10-year NFL career where he can kind of live comfortably for most of his life unless he blew his money. This 1 year with Monken. Look at this, 4,476 yards. 2,000-yard rushers. Jalen Richard, who played for the Raiders for a while, and Edo Smith was in the league for a little while too. Receivers. Casey Martin. Can't remember who it is, and this is my school. 80 catches. Michael Thomas. 1,400 yards on 71 catches. That's not that, and I don't think that's not the Michael Thomas. It's not that Michael Thomas. So don't feel that way. I still had to go check though to make sure that's not that Michael Thomas. But again, a bunch of guys that from local kids around South Mississippi, South Alabama, local kids. He got them together. He turned it around. That landed him the Tampa Bay job. So after leaving Southern Miss and getting them back into a bowl record, Tampa Bay came calling. Let's go to the NFL side of this now. All right, Tampa Bay Bucks. Let me see. Let me find Tampa Bay. Now, I'll make it bigger again. Just give me a second. It might be too big, but let's see. All right, Tampa Bay. So in Tampa Bay, he was 2016. It's a great year, 2016. Great year. This is what, 22? So let's do it right here. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. So 2016. He's the OC under Dirk Cutter. They go 9-7. Jameis is his quarterback, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. I got it on my paper. Yeah, Jameis threw for 4,090 yards, had 28 touchdowns, 18 interceptions, and they rushed for 1,600 yards as a team. Their league ranks. I got their ranks up here too. They were 16 in passing, 24 in rushing. They were 9-7. That's in 2016. 2017, they regressed some. They regressed. Who was their leading receiver this year? Was it Mike Evans? It was Mike Evans. Mike Evans had 96 catches for 1,321 yards. Let's go to the next year. They got worse. They were 5-11 this year. So looking at the second year in Tampa Bay, Jameis threw for 3,500 yards. Fitzmagic threw for 1,100 yards. Jameis was 19 touchdowns, so 11 interceptions. Fitzmagic, whichever you want to call him, was 7 touchdowns for 3 interceptions. Then Mike Thomas had another big year. Had 71 catches for 1,000 yards. So that's 2 in a row under Monken. It's going to this third year, which they had the same record. They were 5-11. They were number 1 in passing in the league. Let me show you the numbers right here. Get this out of here again. This is the ranking right here highlighted. I don't know if you can see my mouse. They were number 1 in passing. They threw for 5,125 yards. Rushing, they were 29th in rushing. 29th in rushing. So we really want to find some balance in there. And we were kind of the opposite of that this year, the Ravens. We were low in passing and way up there in rushing. But you want to kind of find some balance. Balance leads to victories, in my opinion. But again, as far as the numbers, Jameis Winston threw for 8 yards short of 3,000 yards. Then Fitzpatrick threw for right at 2,400 yards. Jameis had 19 touchdowns. Fitzpatrick had 17. And Jameis had 14 picks. Fitzpatrick had 12. So again, it's been in systems where they ran the ball well. Been in systems where they threw the ball well. Well, that 3-year stint got him to Cleveland. Let's go see what he did in 1 year in Cleveland. Cleveland Browns. There we go. And that 1 year is what? 2019. So let's see. 2019. Bam. They were what was it? They were 6-10, third in the AFC North. Nick Chubb had, if I'm not mistaken, 1,400 yards. Let me see. Yeah, Nick Chubb had 1,494 yards. Baker Mayfield, 3,827 yards. Landry and Odell both had 1,000+ yards. You believe me? Let me scroll down to it so you can see it for yourself. Baker Mayfield, 3,827 yards, 22 TDs, 21 INTs. That's way too many INTs, but I understand it. It's Baker. That's what he do. Nick Chubb, 1,494 yards. Chubb's been that dude, though. Why can't we get numbers like that from JK? I think we can. Kareem was there, too. Kareem didn't do much that first year. But then you look at receiving. Let's skip receiving. Receiving right here. Odell Beckham, 74 catches, 1,035 yards. Juice Landry, 83 catches, 1,174 yards. 2,000-yard receivers under Todd Monken. Parlay that 1 year. Let's go back to college. To the Georgia Bulldogs. See if I can get back there. There we go. Now, Georgia. There we go. Georgia, and we go in 2022. No, 2020. All right, they were 8-2 in his first year. 8-2, first year as the OC. Let me just read off my paper here. Passing yards per game, they were 249 yards a game. Rushing yards per game, they were 174 rushing yards per game. Zamir White and James Cook together combined for 1,000 yards. I think that's what I had. Let me see. Zamir White, 779. Kenny McIntosh, who is still there, 251. And James Cook, 303. So, yeah, Zamir White, James Cook, who are rookies this year, both had rushes that totaled 1,000 yards. Passing wise, I think Pickens is the leading receiver. Yeah, Pickens 36 catches for 500, and actually he was not the leading receiver. He's down by 1 yard, but he only played 8 games, and Jackson played 10, and Jackson basically had the same numbers. But again, fast forward to you hear about the balance though. The balance: 249 passing yards, 174 rushing yards. Balance. Going to 2 years ago when they won their first national championship, they were 14-1. Stetson Bennett, quarterback, 2,800 yards, 2,862 yards, 29-7 TD to interception ratio, which is great. 29-7 TD to interception ratio, which is great. Stetson Bennett, he made Stetson Bennett who he is, and Stetson Bennett is not all world. He may be heady, but his athletic ability, his arm, and all this stuff, he won games with his head, not with his physical traits. You look at Zamir White, posted 850 yards. James Cook, 728 yards. Both who are in the NFL now. Cook had 27 catches out the backfield. McIntosh had 22 catches out the backfield. So he was using 3 backs for pretty much 3 years. So this is their first national championship year. Last year, the year that just finished, it happened last month. They won the national championship again. They were 15-0. Again, Stetson Bennett as the QB. He had 4,100 yards passing. 4,100 yards passing. 27-7 touchdown interception rate. Now, both leading rushers are gone. They went to the pros. Cook and Zamir White. Come back with Kenny McIntosh, 800 yards. Edwards, 700 yards. Kendall Milton, almost 600 yards. And you got Branson, the freak from Mississippi, 330 yards. And if you don't know Branson Robinson, go look him up. You're going to think he's a bodybuilder. But still. Leading receiver, Brock Bowers, the tight end. And we know we're getting into what everybody is talking about, the tight ends being this and that and whatever. But that's who they were, the best receivers on the team. So that's why they led the team in receiving. This is the top receiver. This is their best receiver right here. Ladd McConkey, number 84. Other than Pickens, they hadn't had a guy at receiver. Other than Pickens. Now this dude had 58 catches for 726 yards. But as Brock Bowers had 63 catches. The other big tight end, which is Darnell Washington, had 28 catches. And everybody else pretty much, that mattered, had 15 to 29 catches. So, yeah, the tight end got a lot of catches, but he was the best receiver of the ball. McConkey was the second best receiver of the ball, and the third best receiver of the ball was the running back. Look at Kenny McIntosh, 43 catches. So if the backs can catch, they will get the ball. The guys that can catch will get the ball, whether it be receivers, tight ends, or running backs. Balance. That's what we're looking for, a balance. And that's all I just brought you here to show you the history of Todd Monken, so to speak. Not to say that you're wrong in your opinion or that we should or should not have had this guy. It's a simple matter of doing research, then making an opinion. Instead of just seeing the last 3 years at Georgia and they run 2 tight end sets a lot. Yeah, because they 2 best players were tight ends on offense. That's why. But at Oklahoma State, their best player was the quarterback and receiver, and you see what they did. At Southern Miss, he got everybody the ball when they turned that thing around. Everybody. Nobody had like a huge numbers to stand out. Everybody got the ball. Tampa Bay, you're dealing with Jameis. You're dealing with Jameis at Tampa Bay. Jameis, there's nobody not ever open when dealing with Jameis Winston. So you got what you got, and he got what he got out of Jameis. Jameis had some decent seasons. Then, went to Cleveland. Baker probably had his best year under Monken. And now followed up with UGA, and it speaks for itself. So again, I just wanted to do the research for you and put it on film. And that way you ain't got to go do it. You can just come here, and then you can reference this video when you talk about it to other people. And that's all. Nothing fancy. Nothing. Like, comment, subscribe. Members, you're first seeing it. Patreon, you'll be second to see it. And everybody else, you'll get this Thursday. Right now, it's 4/25, February 15th, 2023. So I appreciate y'all, man. Peace. I don't even know if anybody in here with me. I couldn't see my, what up, B? There it is. I finally get to see the chat box, but I'm out now. I was working too much with my fingers.